Building the right buildings in conflict of nations is one of the biggest factors in whether you win or lose a game. Let's start with bunkers. Bunkers are a very underrated building that only experienced players tend to use properly. The main reason bunkers are so strong is because they boost morale performance. As you upgrade bunkers, your city morale increases, and higher morale means faster mobilization times and higher population growth. Higher population then leads to higher resource production, so bunkers don't just help your army, they also help your economy long term. On top of that, bunkers reduce the damage your cities take from enemy attacks. So if you're getting bombed, nuked, or attacked directly, bunkers massively reduce incoming damage. This makes them extremely strong if you're defending a city or expect heavy bombing. Overall, bunkers are an excellent defensive and economic building that almost no one talks about enough. Just keep in mind you should not spam bunkers or rush upgrading them early. They cost resources, and if you overdo it early game, you'll cripple your economy. Only upgrade bunkers progressively, and only in cities that actually matter. Next up, we have recruiting offices. This is a very overpowered building if used correctly, but terrible if used wrong. A lot of people build recruiting offices without understanding how to use them properly. One of the worst mistakes players make is spamming recruiting offices in every homeland city early game. This drains your resources heavily and gives very little value early on. You should only build recruiting offices in 3 situations. The first situation is if you are running low on manpower. Recruiting offices give you a flat manpower bonus, which can help if you're struggling to produce units. That said, if you're constantly low on manpower, it usually means you're not expanding enough. The best long-term solution to manpower issues is aggressive expansion. The second situation, and this is more of an experienced player mechanic, is using recruiting offices to speed up production in specific cities. For example, if I want my gunship helicopters produced faster in early game, I'll build a recruiting office in the city producing those helicopters. This speeds up mobilization and gives you a timing advantage. Just make sure you don't overdo this because early game resources are extremely important. The third situation is obvious. If a unit requires a recruiting office, like National Guards or officers, then you have no choice and must build one. Quick note here. If you want personalized advice on what buildings to build in your exact situation, I recommend joining the RNG server and tagging me directly in the chat. I can help you there and give you specific advice. I'll leave the link in the description. Next up, we have a very popular and extremely important building, but also a controversial one in terms of usage, and that's arms industries. Arms industries are one of the most important buildings in the entire game. They directly increase your resource production, and without a strong economy, nothing else matters. If you want to improve economically, this is the best building to focus on. However, a lot of players misuse arms industries. Many people max them in every single city, which is usually not optimal because they cost resources and upkeep. The smarter approach is to specialize. Here's the setup I recommend. Early game, build level 1 arms industries in all your homeland cities. This boosts all resources slightly and unlocks unit production. Then you look at which resource you're struggling with the most. For example, if you're very low on electronics, you should upgrade the arms industry in the city that produces electronics. This massively boosts that specific resource and fixes bottlenecks. On the other hand, if you're already doing well on a resource like fuel, there's no reason to prioritize upgrading arms industries in fuel cities early. That would just waste resources. Always upgrade arms industries based on what you need, not blindly. Next up, we have air bases and naval bases. These are very common buildings, and most people understand their military use, but very few people talk about their economic value. Air bases and naval bases both increase resource production when upgraded. For example, a level 5 naval base gives you a 20% resource production boost in that city. A level 5 air base gives you a massive 25% boost. This is why you sometimes see experienced players max these buildings, even if they aren't producing units there. That said, placement is extremely important. These bonuses only apply to the city they're built in. So if you're playing Germany and struggling with electronics, you should build your air or naval bases in cities that produce electronics to maximize value. There's also a defensive benefit to higher level bases. For example, if you're producing attack submarines which require a level 3 naval base, and your city has a level 5 naval base, the enemy has to destroy 2 levels before your production stops. The same logic applies to air bases. A level 5 air base can take heavy bombing and still remain functional. while a level 1 airbase can be destroyed instantly. Just don't rush these upgrades early game. Build and upgrade them progressively, where you'll drain all your short-term resources. Next, we have hospitals. Hospitals are situational, but very powerful if used correctly. They heal units and increase population growth, which also boosts resource production. I recommend building only one hospital, ideally in a coastal homeland city that already has an airbase. For example, London is a perfect hospital city because it's coastal and has an airbase. This allows you to heal ground units, air units, and naval units all in one place. Upgrade this hospital to level 5 so your units heal quickly. Ground units heal in the city center, air units heal at the airbase, and naval units heal on the coast. As soon as a unit takes damage, send it back to heal instead of rebuilding it. Healing units is always more efficient than replacing them. Now let's talk about a very overpowered province building that most players completely ignore: combat outposts. Combat outposts are incredible for defense. They reduce the damage enemies deal to your units in that province. Provinces are all territory outside cities. These are worth building when you see a large enemy force approaching and you plan to defend. For example, if a stack of 10 infantry is moving toward you, you can send your own stack into the province they're entering and build a combat outpost there. At level 1, enemy damage is reduced by 33%. At level 2, enemy damage is halved. At level 3, enemies deal 65% less damage. That's insanely strong. Combat outposts also increase morale in the province, giving you even more defensive value. Just don't spam them randomly. Placement matters far more than quantity. With that said, remember this: the strongest players are not the ones who build the most buildings. They're the ones who build the right buildings at the right time and in the right places. If you focus on economy first, specialize your cities, and avoid overbuilding, you will win far more games without changing anything else about your playstyle. If you think more buildings deserve to be mentioned, let me know in the comments. And if this video helped you and you want more content like this, make sure to subscribe. I post guides to help you actually win games, not just play them. Good luck!